next question is, could you guys give some examples, and again, this could be for residential or online or both, of some programs NCSSM has, which you feel are special to them and maybe might not be offered at regular schools?
So I think what's really stood out to me was the research opportunities that SSM has provided. And this is both in class and out of school. So in class, there's a bunch of classes that are tailored specifically to research. And then there's also classes which have research competence, like research projects and research papers that you write. And I think Sashank can talk about this. He actually took a class where you had to write a research paper. So there's a bunch of these classes where you can take these papers and submit to conferences or competitions and stuff. So that's a really cool part. And then out of these classes, SSM provides a bunch of opportunities for research, including research conferences and competitions, and even submitting to different papers. Like they have their own scientific paper, which if you have any research papers or research experience in the past, you can submit to. So compared to my base school, SSM really emphasizes research on top of just the normal academic course load.
Yeah, echoing Sritan's point, at least from the academic point of view, from NCSSM Online, just because you're online and you're not necessarily in a lab doesn't mean that you're not really doing any work. Like he said, my courses that I'm taking are heavily research oriented, and we use, NCSSM as a school has access to a bunch of resources to provide their students with like more avenues for research and things like that. So that's looking at it from the more scientific standpoint, but I think it's also important to recognize that even though NCSSM is the School of Science and Math, they also have the largest or second largest humanities department in the state. So it's not entirely just a science and math school. So they have extensive resources in every field that you can think of, really, essentially. And I think the residential students can also talk a little bit more about the clubs, all the academics like available at residential, but also like the social programs and stuff that you guys have there as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's student government's huge. There are a million clubs. Talked about research before. Some of the other research programs are like mentorship, where you get to work with actual people researching in the field, in the area, and you get to go into their labs and work with them. And yeah, all sorts of clubs all over the place, and competitions. Tons of kids do competitions. We get emails all the time from the school about competitions or places to publish your research. And all the teachers have connections and will come up to you if you've done something great and be like, hey, I loved this essay. Do you want to publish it here? Which is amazing. And I didn't get that at my home high school.
Yeah, in addition to the mentorship program, we also have the RSci programs classes. So you like apply to them and it's pretty selective, but you get to design your own project and you get to research on it over, I think it's like 2 semesters and 1 summer, and you get to publish that research and then talk about it. Okay, I was gonna say that there's also some classes that are like that have like an R. That's like I'm taking AP Bio right now, and it's like an R class. So it's a research class, so it's heavily emphasizes it. And yeah, you get to NCSM highly emphasizes research in general.
Yeah, one more thing. I had another art class. I took ecology last semester, and that was a self-led course, which is not something you get at other high schools, where we entirely paced ourselves throughout the semester, and all of our labs, we were given just the materials we would need, and we had to come up with the whole write-up ourselves. And that kind of trust in the students from the teachers is not something you normally receive.
So I actually got a question from someone about the clubs that are offered for online students. And so they were asking, are the clubs that are offered to residential students the same as they are to online students? And so I think the clubs are actually limited for online students compared to residential. And especially I think in the competitions, you won't have many competitions, but there's a lot of clubs that are based on hobbies. And I think the one that I remember was by Rubik's Cubing. So there's a bunch of different clubs that are still offered to online students. Of course, they're an online environment, but it's not as extensive as what they are for residential students.
All right, and thank you, Srijan, for answering that. The next question is, what do you guys think your biggest takeaway will be by graduation? So what's the one thing, if you had to pick one thing from it? I know you guys are only juniors, you've only been there for a year, so this might not be it might change by next year, but for now, what's your biggest takeaway from the whole NCSSM experience?